Guess what we're talking about today? She's cooking in the background. You hear all that noise? Opposites. This is exactly what we completely do when we're shooting. Opposites. I would never do this.
All right, so first we're going to talk about how opposite we are. This is going to be really funny because we really are very opposite. And
Have zero in common. Zero.
Actually,
Zero.
one thing in common that we do like is traveling. We both agree that we love going places, visiting countries, and so that is something we've done even apart from each other and also with each other, and that is something we do have in common. But besides that, everything else I would say is an opposite. Like, he's super clean. I wouldn't say I'm messy or dirty, but I am not that clean. Like, I don't need things to be like OCD clean all the time.
Yeah, but she's not dirty or anything like that. She's just a little messy, disorganized. Okay, let me just give you one example. The kitchen. You should see our pantry. I should show you what our pantry looks like. Our nanny actually organized our pantry one time. A few times. And then after a couple of days, it's back to madness. She has things in certain areas. I can't find stuff, but she has her own way. I don't understand the system. Now she took it to a whole nother level with her organization. She bought what is little
Tupperware.
She bought little Tupperware to try to
Tupperware, those little plastic bins.
Yeah, to put in the pantry. But you should see our pantry now. It still doesn't look organized. So between my system of organization and hers is completely different.
Second thing is he is very detail oriented. I am not as detail oriented. So for me, I would say I get a lot of things done in a small amount of time. You, on the other hand, what do you do? You basically get little done, but you do it well.
Okay,
so,
let's
yeah.
Let me clarify that a little bit. Yeah, she gets done things swiftly. I get things done.
So I get a lot of things done quickly
in a timely fashion, but her way is not completely done. It's done quickly, but it's a lot of steps where you have to go back and do unnecessary added work. Mine, on the other hand, it gets done in a timely fashion, and it's very to the T. Where I try to avoid to do anything where I have to do more work. I don't like doing more work, so I like to do it right the first time around.
Yeah, he does take his time. But the thing is, when you have kids and kids who are basically 2 and under, you have sometimes a millisecond to get something done. And he takes, let's say, 5 minutes to get something done. And in those 5 minutes, I'll get like 5 things done. So that is, I guess, the biggest difference between us.
Not true.
Not true.
No, it's not. Not true at all.
Completely true.
You know, have you ever heard me say, maybe, I want to say like a second or third video, I said Shortcut Dawn in the bloopers. This is Shortcut Dawn. She's all about anything that requires a shortcut.
Anything that makes my life easier. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, but everything isn't a shortcut though. Sometimes it requires you to put in some type of work.
There is that part of us that's different. He's detail oriented. I'm not. He gets little done in a lot of time, and I get a lot done in a little time. So there's that. And then there is personality differences. Like, he is very confrontational. I'm very passive.
Hello.
Maybe we can give an example of like what we mean.
Yeah, no, you tell me. What do you mean by confrontation?
Well, basically, okay, so this is kind of funny because I feel like in our relationship, I'm more confrontational. Like, I'll bring up things, but he won't ever bring up things. I don't know, he doesn't really bring things up unless I want to sit down and talk about it. But when it comes to any other relationship outside of our relationship, he is very up in your face kind of person. Like, he will address things right away. I'm more like, I don't know, I'm more passive. I don't really like to ruffle feathers. I don't like to make people feel uncomfortable. If I'm really upset at somebody, I will just ignore them. I mean, I'm just like, I guess, a typical Californian passive aggressive versus he is more like the typical East Coast confrontational, you know.
I wouldn't say confrontational, more direct.
I guess.
I think, me personally, I think it's direct, not confrontational. Now, I won't go against the confrontation, but I'm more of a direct person. I just need to know. I don't want to do anything that's like passive.
You also stand up for yourself a lot right away. Versus me, I don't tend to do that. I feel like I'm always worried about what the other person's gonna think, or stuff like that. So I would rather deal with stuff, but deal with stuff my own way, which is being passive, versus he would just be like, no, don't talk to me like that, or who do you think you are? Something like that. So that's very different about us. And also there is the whole mellow. I'm super mellow. I don't know if you've noticed that in our videos with our energy levels, but I'm usually like very calm, versus he's super animated, sometimes really flustered.
I'm not flustered.
Sometimes I'm like, yes, you do. You kind of are flustered. Like you.
No, I'm not.
Like let's say we have a situation, right? Like a situation where, I don't know, it can be anything. Like let's say something's burning in the oven, right? And
I know where you're going with. I know where she's going with this.
So he's gonna be like, I mean, this is literally Monty. He'll be like, oh my gosh, babe, like I think something's in the oven. I think it's burning, but and I'm like, no, I know what I put in the oven. I'm pretty sure it's not burning.
But was I right? Was it something burning?
I don't even know if you were right.
Oh,
I don't think anything was burning.
Remember it was dripping?
It was just dripping, but it wasn't burning. It was fine. It was just like a sweet potato in the oven that basically caramelized out. That was it. And it wasn't like a lot. It was probably 2 drops. All right, so we are complete opposites, as you just heard. And how do we really make this work? And so marriage is work. I don't know of anybody who says marriage is easy, because marriage is not easy. It's constant work. And when we are such opposites, we do need to, first of all, communicate. And I know we talked about this in multiple other videos, and I know lots of marriage experts talk about this, but it really, really is key. Finding common grounds. Like, what do we both enjoy? We both enjoy traveling, right? So
that's the only thing we have in common, by the way.
That is something that we enjoy together, and that is good to know, because then we can both spend money towards, let's say, traveling together, or living in another country, or visiting other countries, like whatever the case, So I think it's important to communicate, but also healthily communicate our needs, our wants, our differences. But I think the most important thing with couples that are opposite is really being open to learn from each other. I think it's super important.
True. That is very true.
I think being open to really understanding Monty's perspective. Like, honestly, like being this clean, I've learned from Monty, because I didn't really grow up in a household like that. So to me, that is something that I learned from him, because he likes things organized, he likes things kept a certain kind of way, and to him it affects his mental energy, to be honest. And so I think that's something that I learned from him, and so he, I'm sure, has learned a ton of things from me, right?
Yeah, a ton. You're right about that. I've learned so much from Dawn. I learned a ton of things. It's a few right at the top of my head. I'm learning empathy. I'm learning more about empathy, by the way. You needed empathy. You needed compassion and empathy. Well, she's right. I'm learning about being more, about empathy, and also just having patience, and just being extremely humble, and just appreciate the core things and valuable things in your life, which is in family. Honest, at the end of the day, family and really close friends you consider family. Mm-hmm. So I've learned from that, and I've learned to be a little bit more frugal. I still have some working on in that department, but I'm getting there.
Yeah. So I think learning from each other, being open to learn from each other when you're opposites is super important. The fact that we are so opposite doesn't really mean that we don't support each other. It's no matter what Monty wants and Monty wants to do, and no matter how much I agree with it or don't, I support him 100%. I always have his back, and vice versa. But truly, Monty and I balance each other out. I mean, when I tell you we're really opposite, like we've talked about this whole video, we really are. And I think it's important, because if both of us were flustered at the same time, honestly, this house will be a chaos, right? Or if both of us were calm, maybe there wouldn't be enough sense of urgency. So I think at the end of the day, we have to look at it like we're balancing each other out. We try our best to keep each other happy. And at the end of the day, also, God is a big part of our relationship, and he truly guides us in terms of like what we need to do in this relationship. So having him as our focus and like really working on each other is important.
Are you happy, baby? You happy, baby?
I am.
Can we kiss? Ooh, cheese.
Well, thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed this video. We hope you loved it. You thought it was funny, but also informational. We love reading your comments. So if you are in a relationship with someone who's an opposite, leave us a comment below. Let us know how you make it work. I love reading your comments, and I love that you engage with us. And please, go ahead and leave a comment below.
And also too, and if you're attracted to somebody, you have zero in common, don't even worry about it. Don't listen to what people have to say, because it's a reason why you're attracted to that person. You're intrigued by something, and you just never know where to end up. Look at us. Look what I ended up with. Oh no, I'm just joking.
Yeah, we'll see you back here for the next one. Mwah.